Software development is quite basic application in Fibruary where you can track your user stories and bugs. Let's check it out. So by default you have bugs, user stories and releases, and you can connect your stories and bugs to releases. Okay, and let's check some views. This is a backlog where you have all not done user stories and bugs. So you can prioritize them here and assign to people, but basically it's just a backlog. And the main piece is a Kanban board. It's a very basic Kanban board where you can see all your not done stories and bugs and and implemented stories and bugs. You can collapse lanes. You can definitely add new states. And let's say maybe you want to see features as well. So let's switch feature on here. You see what feature you implement in this user story. And you can just create new story here, new bug, and move it through your Kanban process. You also can plan releases if you have them. Release plan view just shows you all releases, and you can assign new bugs and new features to releases. Let's add new release 2.0, and now you can assign this bug, let's say, to release 2.0. Thus you can plan your high-level releases, and for every release you can have a date, and let's customize it to see our planned dates for this release date. Here is it. This release is not planned, so let's open it. We are going to release it in the end of April, and here is it. In some cases you don't want to use Kanban process, but you want to use like Scrum process. You can customize your software development application. You can create a new type, call it sprint, since in Scrum you have sprints. Now we want to connect bugs and user stories to sprints, so basically we can assign bugs and user stories to sprints. Let's do that. Let's create a new relation between user story and sprint, okay, and between bug and sprint. So now you can assign bugs and user stories to sprints, and now create a sprint board. Let's create a new view. It will be a board. As a card we will show bugs and user stories, and as a columns we will see our sprints. Now we have a very basic, like a pretty simple entity. It will be sprint number 1. And now you can move your undone user stories. Let's show maybe state for the stories and avatars of assigned persons. And now I can assign these user stories to sprint 1. Let's say this sprint 1, this sprint 1, and so on. It will be our sprint plan. And now you want to see a total effort. Let's say we want to display an effort for our features, user stories and bugs, but we don't see this for a sprint. Now create a formula that will calculate assigned effort, and we'll just want to have bugs sum effort plus stories sum effort. Okay, it will be an integer in points in our case. That's it. So we have a single story with 8 points assigned, and we see assigned effort as 8 points. Now we want to display this information in our column. Assigned effort. Here is it. Now we see how much effort assigned to every sprint. Thus you can quite easily add sprints into Fibruary, thus migrating from Kanban to Scrum. As you see, piece of cake.